Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Yeah, that's nice. We're here. It's good. It's good to be back. I've been away a couple of weeks, and it always feels good to come home, spiritually, physically, all of that. And this Shabbat is both the Shabbat when we read Parshat Re'eh, and it's also the Shabbat right before we're about to welcome the month of Elul, which is our spiritual prep as we go into the Yamim Noraim, the high holy days of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and then Sukkot. There is still a little bit of time, but that's getting smaller and smaller for us. And there's a really beautiful and piercing message at the opening of our Parsha this week, which opens with the words Re'eh. It just says see. And what is it that we're supposed to see? This is God speaking to Moshe, speaking then to the people. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom, bracha uklala. See, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. And so the Parsha opens for us and says, this is your choice. This is what you have. You can choose to follow my commandments and live a life of blessing, or you can choose to not. And if you don't, it's not going to be a beautiful life. It's going to be a life of curses. And in the Hilchot Tshuva, which is written by the Rambam in the Middle Ages, the Rambam himself is a fascinating teacher and thought mind in our tradition, but also really, I think what he comes to say here is not something that I think we always think about, particularly in this time. And when thinking about the liturgy of the High Holy Days, although it definitely has some resonance there, but I think here is where the message of this Re'eh, what is it that we're supposed to see? And so he starts this teaching, it's from the 5th chapter of his Hilchot Tshuva, which is the laws of how do we return? How do we go about this enormous project of Elul that we're supposed to be our best selves and do this work and to return to God, return to ourselves, return to being the people that we want to be. And so he starts by saying, Reshut lechol adam netuna. Free will is granted to all people. Free will is granted to all people. If one desires to turn oneself to the path of good and be righteous, the choice is yours. Should one desire to turn to the path of evil and be wicked, that choice is also yours. And this is the intent of the Torah's statement, and he takes us all the way back to Bereshit, to the moment of creation when it says, behold, people, Adam has become unique as ourselves, knowing good and evil. And the human species became singular in the world with no other species resembling it, the following quality, that people can, on their own initiative, with their own knowledge and thought, know good and evil, and do what they desire. There is no one who can prevent that person from doing good or bad. No one. Accordingly, there was a need to drive them out of the Garden of Eden at this point, lest the Adam, this person or humanity, would stretch out their hand and take from the tree of life. No one can make that choice other than us, the Rambam says. It's only us who make that choice. And he goes even further to say, and don't even entertain the idea that at times a person, when they were created, that God, blessed be the Holy One, decrees whether one person can be righteous or wicked. It's not even in the hands of God. It is in our hands. Each one of us holds that choice before us. And he says that this is not true that God holds it. Each person is fit to be righteous like Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rambam, he is one of the most elite thinkers and not always, I would say, the kindest in his thought, but he says every single one of us has that choice. Not only do we have the choice, but we can be as righteous as our tradition tells us our teacher Moshe Rabbeinu was. That is what this teaching is on this Shabbat as we go into Elul. He's saying it is in our hands. It is in your hands. Open your eyes and see it. And he continues to say, he may be wise. A person could be wise, or she could be foolish, or merciful, or cruel, or miserly, or generous, or can acquire any other character traits. There is no one who compels a person, sentences a person, or leads that person toward either of these two paths. Rather, it is that person's own initiative and decision which tends to the path that we choose. It's our choice. It's our choice. And then he goes on at the end of his teaching to quote the beginning of our parasha. He says, this principle is a fundamental concept and a pillar on which rests the totality of Torah and mitzvot, the very foundation of who we are as a people in this world. And he quotes from another place in Devarim, which says, behold, I have set before you today life and a good and death and evil. So we see this again, this choice that we make. But similarly, and then he quotes our parasha, Re'eh anochi noten livnechem hayom, that it is, I see that I have put before you today, this choice is in your hands. Any one of the deeds, he says, of a person, which a person desires to do, you can do, whether it's good or it's evil. And he says, therefore, we see in another place in Devarim, if only their hearts would always remain this way. From this, we can say that the Creator, that God, does not compel or decree that people should do either good or bad. Rather, everything is left to their own choice. It's amazing. We stand on the precipice of this incredible spiritual time in our calendar on Shabbat with a choice. And that choice is in our hands. The first thing that the Rambam says that I want to highlight again is that each of us inside has the ability to be as righteous as the most righteous prophet in our tradition, Moshe Rabbeinu. We each have it in us. It's not anywhere other than deep within ourselves. And we have to be the ones to see it. We have to see that vision of who it is that we can be and that we have that inside us. The other piece of this is that it's our choice. There is no one else in the world who's going to make this choice for us. There is no one else who is going to step into this month of Elul or step into this new year and make any other choices than ourselves. It is a huge responsibility, and it's why we're not going to do it alone. It's why we never do it alone. It's why we're here tonight with each other. It's why we're going to do learning, and we're going to do praying, and we're going to do social action and justice and working together, because we believe in seeing the world that we want to see, and that we have that choice of being the ones who bring that blessing into the world. The blessing and the curse is in front of us. We see so many curses. We open the news, it's overwhelming. We as a people, we as a nation, we as Jewish people, it is too much. And what this says to us is see the goodness and be that blessing in which we need in our world today. And that is exactly the work we're about to do as we step into Elul and as we continue to create and to see this vision together. Shabbat Shalom. May it be a powerful and moving and blessed Elul and Shabbat for all of us.